Hi, buddy. Welcome back to Ox Talks. Thanks for tuning in to the show today. I appreciate the support for this growing channel. Please hit the like button for me and the bell notification. Share my videos with people that you know and love and care about so we can continue to get the word out and wake people up as things are unfolding rapidly every day now with the economy on the geopolitical front. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, I would ask that you please hit the subscribe button and also ask others to do the same so we can keep growing the community. I am going to, after receiving several comments over many months here about why I'm no longer doing videos with Jeremiah Babe, why am I not appearing on his channel, why has he not been on my channel more, I will address that at the second part of this video. I'm going to address it one time. I'm not going to respond to comments about it, guys. I'm not going to address it again. Hopefully it's information. I'm going to be transparent. I don't owe anybody the story, but I appreciate you guys, and it is a bit of an elephant in the room because Jeremiah and I go back several years. And initially when I launched this channel about 15 months ago, he was a big supporter of the channel. So I'm going to address it, put it to rest, and then we'll move on. But let me share with you two stories I think are important on the economy today. The stock market closed just a little while ago. Dow fell 178. S&P fell 66, and the Nasdaq got hit. It was down 375 points. The oil's up almost $75 a barrel. But the big story from my perspective is the 10-year. The 10-year bond, as I last checked a few minutes ago, was up 7.5 basis points at almost 4.7%. I saw 4.691%. I think it did touch 4.7%. As we've talked about repeatedly on this channel, that is not going to bode well for the stock market, okay? We continue to have a raging dollar, a strong dollar, pushing up again almost to the 109 mark. And I said, I think in yesterday's video, some of the Fed heads came out and indicated that the rate cuts in 2025 may not be as prolific as everybody once was talking about last year, and that the markets are really overvalued. And I said in yesterday's video, if you guys watched it, I said, let's see how this plays out. Because if the markets start to wake up to this, it's going to cascade, and it may have a negative impact, on the stock markets. And it seems like cryptocurrencies seem to trade, let's say, in accordance, if you will, with what the broader stock market does. Cryptocurrencies are down big time today across the board. Bitcoin fell, I think, $5,000-$6,000. It's all down on the major cryptocurrencies. And I have a story I'll share with you out of Crypto News, which gives an explanation of why. And it's tied to the 10-year bond yield, okay? First article out of Zero Hedge this morning, rate cut odds plunge as ISM Services Inflation Index surges near 2-year high. It says this is analysts expected this morning's ISM Services data to print higher, and they were right. ISM Services surged to 54.1, and that's from 52.1 prior, and better than the 53.5 expected. It says, however, below the surface things are not so awesome as prices paid exploded from 58.2, listen to this, to 64.4, and employment slipped to 51.4. Okay, so it says producers remain challenged by a strong dollar. I just mentioned that. Potential tariffs, the Trump effect, and general uncertainty from dock workers' contract negotiations that they're set to resume on Tuesday. But we have a strong dollar, and we have, again, the prices paid exploded from 58.2 to 64.4. All right, inflation expectations are at their highest since February 2023. It says the market is no longer pricing in a full rate cut by July. And my non-expert opinion on that is that is the reason why we saw a bit of a sell-off in the stock market today, all right? And you have that basically also led to a spike in the 10-year yield because you have inflation going up. Out of the crypto news, this just hit a few minutes ago and says, here's why Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and other altcoins just crashed. It says cryptocurrency prices retreated sharply on Tuesday, erasing some of the gains made on Monday as concerns about the bond market, intensified. It says Bitcoin dropped 4%, low of 97,700. Ethereum, Ripple, and Solana all fell by over 5%. The decline aligned with a risk-off sentiment that extended across other financial markets, particularly in equities. Just discussed the stock market sell-off. Popular tech stocks were also affected. Nvidia plunged by 5.4%, wiping out $175 billion in market value. Tesla dropped 3%. And super microcomputer declined 1.5%. It says the sell-off was driven by rising U.S. bond yields ahead of key economic reports, including the non-farm payrolls data and Federal Reserve minutes. The 10-year bond yield rose by 1.7, it says here, to 4.7%, while the 30-year and 5-year yields climbed to 4.61%. Rising bond yields typically signal expectations of a more hawkish stance from the Federal Reserve. And we discussed that. Again, I mentioned it yesterday. Some Fed heads are coming out now, much more hawkish tones, and also saying the markets appear very overvalued. Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies faced additional pressure after Labor Department reports showed job vacancies surged to a 6-month high, driven by the services sector. Again, discussed that on a show a couple days ago. The Fed is between a rock and a hard place because we have a weakening labor market. Some analysts, it says, believe that the soaring bond yields could crash Bitcoin, altcoins, and other assets. In a recent note, Mark Zandi, chief economist at Moody's, warned that rising deficits under Trump could push yields higher. That in turn would lead to a rotation from risky assets like crypto to money market funds. Give me your thoughts on that. I'm not going to weigh in on that at all. I believe, you're hearing it actually out of the administration and Trump's own family, that they're going to be a crypto positive administration. So, but again, we do have all these things interplaying, So we got to keep watch on it. If you're in the stock market, I hope that you're hedged to the downside. It's with anything, Same with the cryptos. Don't put all your eggs, even gold and silver. Gold is catching a bid today. It's up about $13, an ounce because the market was down, and the 10-year, again, was with the 10-year yield was up much higher. So you've got a bit of a flight to safety. Let's see how it plays out in the coming days. Let me address Jeremiah just briefly. Let me start out by saying I have some notes on this because it's not a topic I really want to discuss, but I kind of feel, I was talking to my wife this morning about this, I kind of feel like it's a topic that I should just briefly address. It probably won't turn out to be brief, but hopefully you guys will stick around. And again, I'm just going to address it. I'm not going to respond to comments and continue engaging on the issue. I'm addressing this thing, frankly, guys, out of respect to you gentlemen and ladies, because quite a lot of you are subscribers to my channel because you have been longtime followers of JB's channel. Many of you came to this channel because of JB, and for that, I'm really grateful. I'm grateful to JB for helping, when I first started the channel, for helping to support it. This is not meant, although it may come across this way, not meant to be an airing of any dirty laundry. I've got the most respect, for JB and his family. Look, if the need ever arises, he knows that I'm there for him. And frankly, I believe confidently that I can say the same thing the other way around. So, but I want to discuss, my perspective on why things may have shifted a bit and gotten a bit strained, which has led to, he and I, really not collaborating on stuff, anymore. And there is a message in all of this, and that's another reason why I'm doing the video to address it. As I thought it through this morning early, there is a broader message that I think applies to all of us, especially I think, for younger people. And the thumbnail is, walk your own path. And I hope that you guys will, understand this and share the message, because there are a lot of people that are very, 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 they get taken in certain directions by others that they believe, want them to act a certain way or do a certain thing. And they walk down and go down a path that maybe isn't consistent with kind of where they're at, or their goals, desires, beliefs, whatever it might be. So there is a broader message here that I want to share with you, and I'll tie this all together at the end. We're going to go long today, so bear with me. And so let me keep looking at my notes here. So from that perspective, I think the message should be to be shared, especially with those younger people, that people need to be confident in themselves, okay? And recognize that when their own values, principles, or goals diverge, okay, from those in their circle, that it's okay. It's okay to part ways and to go on your own path and follow your own path. And I have two daughters, young daughters. They're very impressionable. They're very they're excellent people, but I see influences in their lives with different people, social contacts, friends, people from school, and such. And so, look at I always try to drive the point home to them. So you have to be your own person, and you listen to everything, take everybody's different viewpoints in. But don't get swayed by somebody just because you believe it's something that you think that a way they want you to act, or a way that they want you to conduct yourself. Okay, so from my perspective as a very small YouTuber, I also believe that I really can't come out here every day and speak to you and all of you from the heart and try to share wisdom with you, lessons, things I've learned, and suggestions for how we all can be better people without also being somewhat transparent. Okay, so what you see is what you get. I don't edit these videos. I don't go live, but I basically record them, throw a thumbnail on them, and I upload them. So that is, and I want to continue with that. So you guys understand this is kind of what you get. I constantly receive questions about why JB and I don't do any shows together, because like I said, and as you guys all know, for many years we've been pretty close. You've seen me on his channel probably for a long time over the years. He's been on my channel many times as well. And those collaborations as of recently have pretty much stopped. So let me just start, just give you guys the backdrop with my longtime friendship, with JB. We met back in around 2012. I was actually living in Orange County at the time, and I was out here meeting some clients for a few days. We were both up at the same gun range, becoming more proficient with our tools, and a mutual acquaintance introduced us. And we struck up, a friendship really right away. Started communicating, and I have to say, I credit Jeremiah with, opening my eyes to, a lot of realities in the economic realm. Okay, we talked about the dynamics of precious metals and the role of the petrodollar, and all the politics and nuances, and we just became. We knew we shared that common thing, and in terms of being prepared and understanding, what's really going on. So that was before Jeremiah had even started a YouTube channel, and I remember at one point he mentioned he was going to be starting a channel. We kicked around some ideas for names for the channel, and a lot of you have been watching Jeremiah now for over the years, seen me come on the show, discuss a lot of topics. JB and I have taken a lot of local road trips together to places outside county and such to do shows. We did a show, and we were together in Las Vegas for a few days a couple years ago. We were in Texas, I think it's 2 or 3 years ago now, with Aaron, and hung out down there, did some shows from there. So you guys have seen kind of this, this relationship unfold and build. But I am one of these guys that believes wholeheartedly that there is enough. There's enough in the YouTube well, if you will, for content creators, economic content creators, to all kind of coexist and have and be successful with different approaches and different beliefs and different values and goals. Okay, we can all kind of stay in our lane, if you will, while delivering great information to you guys who listen to this. And frankly, I watch lots of channels. Okay, I've shared that on this show before. And I learn from a whole host of different content creators that I may not agree with all of their things they say or things they do or what's important to them, but you just, you nibble all this stuff and you incorporate what makes sense to you in line with your goals, and your mindset. And this leads me to address the two reasons why I believe, this is my opinion, why I believe that Jeremiah and I have, I don't want to say parted ways. We're just doing our own thing right now. We're both walking our own paths. Okay, and I haven't told JB I'm mentioning this today on the video, and he's obviously free to respond, and he may or may not agree with this. Is my perception of what's been going on. Number one, as you know, Jeremiah is big into jiu-jitsu and self-defense training and boxing. And many, many months ago, I started to attend a few classes with him and Coach Elias at the studio. And we did that a little. I went to a few, I think, sessions. JB was there. We hung out. I came to the realization pretty quickly that it wasn't something that was going to be a priority time-wise for me or with regard to my preparedness regimen. Not because it's not important, okay? But we all can't do everything at once. And for me, having a pre-existing 6mm herniation in my back, which took me years to rehab from and to get strong, that combined with time constraints, it just was something that I decided was not something I wanted to do. And I know that didn't sit well with Jeremiah because he felt it was something that was very important. Again, not taken away from his perspective on that. Okay, that was his view. It wasn't my view. And I think that led to a little bit of strain because I think that Jeremiah felt that I was being a quitter in that regard. I looked at it a little differently in terms of priorities and goals. Again, what is my path? Okay. The second thing has to do with my, let's say, connection, okay, with some other YouTube creators. I'm not going to go into details on that, and some other influencers that, they're in my life as well, and that I learn from and collaborate with a little bit, necessarily more so maybe behind the scenes. And I think that there's other creators out there that maybe Jeremiah doesn't see eye to eye with or agree with the way they conduct things or handle their business, whatever it might be. Okay, and so there's been those two factors that have come up, I'd say, in the last few months that have kind of strained, I think, the relationship. I did notice pretty apparent that JB, was not mentioning Ox Talks and not going down that path. I know he's incorporated Enrique recently into a lot of his videos, and I'm proud of Enrique. He started his own channel. I've known Enrique, believe it or not, for many, many years. When Jeremiah and I were at the airport leaving for Texas about 3 years ago, someone was saying, JB, and we turned around and it was Enrique. JB and Enrique had never met. I had known Enrique for many, many years and done some legal work for him, but I guess he was a big follower and fan of JB, so they met, and then they struck up a friendship, which was very, very cool. And now Enrique's got his own channel going, so that is kind of where things have gone. And look, the reality is, throughout my personal professional career, I've always prided myself and had the ability to stay in my own lane, while, let's say, fostering friendships and professional relationships with people from a wide variety of spectrums, beliefs. Okay, and even if one person in or group, let's say, did not approve of my relationship or association or affiliation with another, my response has always been throughout my whole life to say, well, that's your problem. If you don't like it, then go fly a kite. And I've always taken that perspective with my how I live my life. I came out of law school, and in 1995, and while my friends were sucking up to the partners of law firms trying to get a job, I said, no way. Why would I answer to anybody else? Why wouldn't I go do my own thing? And so I've always kind of been that guy to say, no, I see my future here. I see my goals and my beliefs in a little different place, and I've always walked my own path. Okay, so at the end of the day, right now, JB and I are, we're doing our own thing. Okay, his channel is doing awesome. Proud of him for that. I've seen him grow. He's grown that channel. But I am of the perspective that, and the mindset that everyone has their own what's important to them. Okay. And what, as important to JB, and look, I think that some of it is he may believe that my affiliation or friendship with some other creators, may have some, effect or impact or on him or his channel, and so that that is his perspective. And so I'll leave it there today with the video. It's long. I apologize. Again, please don't bombard me with any more comments or questions about this. Because that's what's going on. Okay, so I want to keep doing my thing, coming out here and doing videos and sharing, personal stuff with you and perspectives, and let's keep going. Okay, so again, thanks for hanging in today. Long show. I'll talk to all of you very soon. Bye.